Hey everybody. So I was at home just now, and Yumiko commented I was sitting around watching TED Talks on TV, which I find to be a very good use of time. And she commented, "Look at you!" After about 4 or 5 talks, you're sitting around doing nothing, which is something that I am not. I'm going to tie my shoes here. I'm not very good at doing nothing. Like just sitting around leisure time. I don't do leisure, and I'm not bragging that I am that ambitious. It's just that I've never been able to sit still like that. Although it's curious. It seems like my mind is much stiller now than my body. Kind of, at least the mind isn't never really stops. It's always engaging in thinking of some sort, but it tends to be it's not at a frantic pace like it used to be. When I was younger, my mind would operate at breakneck speed, rapidly deployed from one thing to another, never ending. Now it's more like just a leisurely, run, gait, gallop, whatever the heck it is. Whatever is a human lope, that's the word. It's a leisurely lope. So I'm going to take a ride. I thought so when she said that, I was like, yeah, I have been sitting around doing nothing, so to speak, for a while. I think I better go do something. So I decided to take a little motorcycle ride. So I'm going to ride down to do a little loop that I like to do, which is a ride down to Laguna Beach on 133 on down Laguna Canyon Road, and then from there we will go up Pacific Coast Highway to Newport Beach and then around. And I think I've got just enough sun, you can see right there, to do the job. So we're going to make a little swoop on here onto the 133 right down there. Follow this car here. There's the road we're going to take right over there. Kind of swoop in. Yeah, I was enjoying these TED Talks, a whole string of them. I've been watching a lot of TED. And it all comes down to good, like I said, good use of time. And I find that, getting myself some learning is a very good use of time. I've been trying to expand. So I got TED Talks, I got Big Think, and it all sounds like that kind of it has the feel of it, and I hesitate to use the word pseudo-intellectual, like, wannabe intellectual type of stuff. Oh, I watch TED all day long. But it's simply the best stuff that I can find. No, I shouldn't say that. On YouTube, at least, on podcasts, I find lots of great podcasts like Freakonomics Radio, the NPR Politics podcast. I listen to some. There's the 405 Freeway. I listen to some very good fiction podcasts that I really like. And then there are listening to debates on YouTube, very much. And I've just started to delve into some university lectures. I listened to the first introductory lecture on history from Yale that I really liked. The professor could have been a little more interesting. It was kind of a little bit dull in some ways. Just kind of came across as that kind of a professorish type of air and atmosphere. I like my professors kind of dynamic, and maybe that's a failing of mine to demand that of them. But that's because that's my style. I've done a lot of teaching, and when I teach, I tend to make it a bit of a show. But the content that he offered was really interesting. Very interesting stuff about the origins of about why the West could have only happened at a particular time and place, and the interesting series of accidents mostly led to the West becoming what it is. Influences from the Greeks and the like. So we're on the 133 that I think technically turns into Laguna Canyon Road, and hopefully we won't have any traffic because it's kind of late in the day and it's very cold. But it's kind of pretty up here. We might be able to see some nice light on the mountain up here. The old GS is running well, but I could definitely see that it's in need for a tune-up, and I'm just about 1,800 miles away from a really big tune-up. It's going to be $1,000 jobby. I'm going to need to take this into Lior, get the valves adjusted, oil changed, of course, new tires, new brakes. This is my big 100,000 mile tune-up, and it's funny because it cost me about $1,000 for a bike that's probably worth only about $2,500. But it's well worth it. This bike has proven itself to be the most durable, long-lasting, and reliable bike I've ever had, and I love riding it. It's a Saturday. I had the last 2 days off, and I was making good use of the time. I was supposed to be in the desert this week. This is my desert week, and I actually took that one day off. I took that Thursday off to extend the desert time, but the weather is just too darn cold, and that experience last month of being chased out of the desert by the cold just cooled my jets, no pun intended. But I actually made good use of the time. I've been meaning for the longest time to switch our, this is going to sound so boring, switch our auto insurance. My wife and my daughter and I all have our insurance on one company, and it's Geico, that's the company, and I love their customer service. They're great, and their rate is actually very good. But someone I trust, who knows this stuff really well, cautioned me that when push comes to shove, you get an accident or something, Geico's a little tough to deal with. And she recommended AAA as the best organization to work with. So I made an appointment and went down to AAA, and worked with my agent now. And I love the fact that they had an office nearby. I know Geico has offices too, but I love the fact that they have an office nearby. And Joseph treated me it was the old-fashioned insurance experience. You come in, you sit down with the guy, he goes over the details, and the agent, and they shake your hand, and you get the piece of paper and all that kind of stuff. And I really did like that experience. And therefore, I decided to renew my insurance, or not renew, but switch over, even though it's going to cost me more. It's going to cost me about $500 a year more to switch to AAA, but I'm happy with the choice. Got a nice BMW Uber in front of me. After the first year, it'll drop 10%, which will lower it down quite a bit. But anyway, enough of insurance. How boring could that be? But see, I actually don't spend all my time out in the desert. I actually do stick around and tend to domestic things. The next thing I'm going to take care of is I want to get myself hooked up with some good catastrophic disability insurance. I'm healthy now, but I worry about the specter of cancer or a stroke, some other disease I'd never heard the name of, to come and rob me of my breadwinning capability and leave me, up in bed. It wouldn't be so bad if I just die outright. I've talked about this in other videos, because my life insurance would kick in, and Emily and Yumiko will be fine. But if I'm not dead, but just struggling to get by, we're going to have a harder road to follow in that case. So I'm in the market for it. I'm currently assessing my current insurance landscape, and we'll be looking for, I don't know if the term is gap. It's probably not. Yeah, it probably is gap, because I do have disability, but I just know that disability won't be enough. So some sort of a gap insurance to cover the rest. And now we're on Laguna, and I'll get that soon. And now we're on Laguna Canyon Road, Going along here, it's the Canyon Club. I think it's some sort of a country club. It's really busy there on the mornings on the weekend. They must have some sort of a breakfast or a brunch or something. And there's the coastal kennels. That right over there is the animal shelter, and then over there is the cetacean. Oh, see all the beach lifeguard stands over there? There's the cetacean rescue center where they, or no, not cetaceans. That would be whales and dolphins. Pinnipeds. You know, sea lions, sea otters, sea elephant seals, things like that. They have them actually in little pens there. You can come visit. Laguna is a very special community. There's a scooter, Vespas of Laguna Beach right there. Laguna is a very special community. Artist studio, lagunaCanyonArtist.com. All kinds of artists there. Here's Jeeps R Us, a Jeep place. Look at that one right there, that military one. That's kind of cool. And entrance to the... oh, some people have their cars still in there, locked in there. What are they possibly going to do? That's amazing. They got their cars in this trailhead, and they got their cars locked into the trailhead because they came back too late. Wow. Oh, look at the lighting up there. Light, not the lighting, but the light. Victoria's skim boards right there. Skim board manufacturer. Pretty cool. Now, it might be family, and I might be giving all this up pretty soon. And I really do enjoy living close to all of this. In the warm months, I tend to come down here a lot. We're looking to maybe move in a little more than a year to a part of Los Angeles called the South Bay. If you imagine Los Angeles proper having the beach areas there which stretch from the actual sandy beach proper, from Malibu all the way down to Redondo Beach, where it butts into the Palos Verdes area there. Just that's probably a good 15 miles, I'm guessing. 15 miles. Even though when Lyle and I were kids, we used to ride our bikes nearly along that whole stretch on a Saturday or a Sunday. That area over there is called the southern part of it is called the South Bay. It's the bay, so to speak. And Yumiko has landed a job that she really likes and she's doing really well at up there. Forgive me if I've talked about this before, maybe repeating myself, up there in the South Bay. And that place is moving to a new building by the Del Lamo Shopping Center. I know exactly where that is because my mom used to take my brother and I there all the time when we were kids because we lived in that area. So we're thinking about, after Emily graduates from high school, to actually move the whole kit and caboodle up to the South Bay, which would knock out Yumiko's commute. In fact, I'm sure I've talked about this in other videos, so I'm sorry. Knock out her commute, and I'd have a heavy-duty commute, but that's okay, because I like riding my bike. So we went and checked out a community called Lomita, which is in the area there. A little more affordable than Torrance and Redondo Beach, which are way, way out of budget. And we really liked it. So if we do move, I'm going to give up all of this. My ride to the beach would be about the same amount of time, maybe a little closer, but it would be a very different type of beach, more of a stereotypical LA beach, with a little bluff and the sandy, clean white sandy beach with waves crashing on the shore. They're very, very stereotypical LA beach. Not these kind of tide poolish little coves that we have here in Laguna. Now we're entering Laguna proper. Well, that was the Sawdust Festival over here. Here we have the art center thingy where they have the Festival of the Arts and the Pageant of the Masters right in there under those awning things. A couple of big events that occur. Let's take a left and go through the right a little bit through Laguna. So if I go straight right over there, not there, but if I go straight right up there, that would take me right to the beach, and there would be the basketball courts and the lake, and then I make a right to go up to Shaw's Cove, which is my summertime hangout. There's some Laguna Beach police. And over there is the fire department and the police department. There's the city hall. Now this is totally an artist community in every sense of the word. Lumberyard, that's a restaurant of some sort. You coming out? A clock tower there, I think. Maybe a church? Oh yeah, Presbyterian church. Taking off in second gear. Looks like they've got that phone booth. It's like, looks like it's stuffed full of people. They've got dolls or mannequins in there. Lots of artist studios up here. Art for the soul. Rock Martin custom jewelry. Tumbleweed arts. 370 common, kitchen and drink. It is Saturday night after all. Here's Laguna Beach Library right there. Nice little red house there. Oh, sorry. A red house there. I didn't see those people because I was being rubbernecking looking at the houses. Thai Brothers Restaurant. And then you can see the ocean right there. And here we are, the actual ocean front. And here we go, there's the Laguna Beach proper. Gotta watch my lights and watch for people. Wow. See Catalina Island way out there if you look close. The basketball court's right there. Didn't see anybody in the water though. It's a little cold. We'll go up here and then cruise along the edge. Look at that, there's one of those see car thingies, the red thing the guy's getting in? Batmobile things. Those things are kind of cool. I know I've made this video before, so excuse me if I'm repeating myself. There's a restaurant over here just behind this building right here, the Laguna Art Museum, which is where my mom, and my dad used to come when they were young, before Lyle and I were born. And my dad would swim in the ocean, you know, snorkel by himself out there, and my mom would sit on the rocks and watch. My mom likes to tell the story of the time that the fog came in, as it's wont to do here, and swallowed my dad up out there. He didn't see the fog coming, stuck his head up, and it was a golf cart. and didn't know which way was the shore. And the story that my mom likes to tell is that he heard my mom's voice calling to him and led him to shore. And it's a nice romantic story. Oh, there goes that Batmobile thing. And here we go. Here's the restaurant. Back in the day, it's called La Brisa or something, and back then it was called the Victor Hugo, this place right here. And then just right over there, in the water, where that little event happened that I just recalled. I related. Ooh, this nice white Tesla. Sure do love those things. See, I'll stand up and give you guys a better view. Try to hold my head straight. See some of the nice houses over here. That guy had a GoPro on his head too. Catalina Island way out there, dead ahead. Get around this guy safely. Heisler Park. Oh, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Riding a bike's so much fun, it's like gliding around. Look, I think I see a parking spot right there. I can park the bike real quick and just walk down to the beach. Shall we? Maybe I can park here. Oh, that's even better right here. Let's do it real quick. Let's take a quick walk down. Shall we? This is the beach where I always come. What was that? Our beach. There was a time in my life that there was a beach that was in my life called Our Beach, but it wasn't O-U-R. It was R with the letter R. Look at that up there. Isn't that nice, those little balcony things? Our Beach. But I can't remember just where Our Beach came from. And this is Shaw's Cove, by the way. This is where I come. This is... I would never go so far as to call it our beach or my beach or anybody's beach. But this is the beach where I play. And I plan to spend a lot of time here this coming year. This coming as soon as it gets warm. Especially given that I know that we're going to be leaving soon to go to. Look, there's lights on the. Somebody's got lights on here. Since I know we're going to be leaving soon to go to in a year or so to South Bay. Isn't that pretty? So you can walk all the way around over there. Very nice. Nobody's in the water. The little buoy over there. So it's like these people are having some sort of an event, huh? Let's go walk down and take a look. Get some kayaks. I usually put my stuff on those rocks right there. The waves are very mellow. Very nice. Let's touch the water. Let's see how the temperature is. It's cold. Oh, at least I see they're going to get a photo. I don't want to get in their way. So that's where I usually, when I do in the real summertime, I do laps here. I start right there, and I swim all the way across to there, and I'll go there, and I'll come here after work, and I'll do 3 laps. 1, 2, 3. Round trip. And that's makes for a good swim. Wow, very nice. Okay, let's get on out of here. Look at all the lights, isn't that pretty? See, it says Shaw's Cove. Oh, see, they got little battery packs. One nice thing about riding a bike is that it's easier to find places to park. This is where I change sometimes. Although lately I don't even bother to change. In fact, usually I don't tell anybody. I just pull off, come out of the water in my swimsuit, put on my boots, put on my helmet, my gloves, and ride home. Woman's shoe. It's a very liberating feeling. I know it's risky, it's dangerous, it's not very smart. Oh, there's the free shuttle. I was just gonna say, this is a free shuttle stop. He doesn't stop because nobody's there. But that goes all the way down to like Dana Point. You can zip all around using the free shuttle, which is pretty damn cool. That's our little stop at Shaw's Cove. Now, let's get back on. I think we got just enough sunlight to get a really nice sunset view over Crystal Cove. Let's do it. This is a kind of a tricky place though, because that's at the top of the hill there. It's so steep. I may not do that. That'd be a hard place to get off. See if I can go up this little alley right here. You know what I'm saying? Right up there, if I stop at the top, it's going to be a little bit hard to. Oh, I should have gone out there. This would be better right here. It's not flat or level or anything like that. I'd be sitting there on the bike, you know, holding it on a hill. And it's kind of a hard place to cross because I got to go across traffic here. I think I can make it. Lucky me. Okay, good. Next view is Crystal Cove with a nice Porsche right there. Wow. Not that I'm necessarily into that kind of stuff. It's funny. It's like opulence and wealth and all that stuff is. It's like looking at someone else's fine art. You know, like I've been a couple of times in people's really nice houses. They got really nice stuff, and it's not necessarily stuff that I'd want. But maybe I say that because I can't have it. Maybe I'm just fooling myself into things. That's not. Oh, I wouldn't want anything like that. No. No Michelangelos for me. Oh, no. Fine art. Oh, you know, hardwood floors. Who needs it? You know, fine art. Ming vase. Hey, another GS rider. Or kind of. You know, maybe it's simply because that I can't afford that kind of stuff. So I fool myself into thinking I don't want it anyway. That's possible. This is nice right up here. Look at this. So anyway, I come through Malibu and I see these houses, all these beautiful, incredibly expensive houses. Look at that, with those, you know, multi-million-dollar views. Actually, Warren Buffett has a house just over there. So to give you an idea, but Warren Buffett's the kind of guy, right? Doesn't he have like a tiny little house in Des Moines or something that he and his wife bought when they were first starting out, 3-bedroom place on a cul-de-sac? But he's also got one of these mansions right over here along the coast. He's also got a huge yacht down here in Newport Harbor. I've seen his boat, or at least that was pointed out to me as Warren Buffett's boat one time. So look at it, and it's like it's right in there. That's where his place is, apparently. Apparently, you know, you look at it, and well, I'll shut up for a second. No, it's right in here. This is where it is, Irvine Cove. His house is in there, apparently. So here, I'm gonna shut up, and we can look at this beautiful view. This is where they filmed that movie Beaches with Bette Midler. Those places, wow. So I'm you know, confident. Look at that, with the one with the 3 stories that's got like a room at the very top. You know, wow. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in a life like that? Maybe I'm the only one that fools myself that I wouldn't want that. So somehow. Because I can't. But would I really? Am I really fooling myself? That's where we're gonna live. See way over there? That big mountain way over there? That's the edge of South Bay. We're gonna live on the far right side of that mountain. So that's a very nice chance to see where we're gonna move to and where we're at right now. You know, maybe I'm just trying to rub in sour grapes, but you know, I had that lifestyle for a while. Oh, this is where they filmed Bette Midler's thing, right over there. Those houses are the beach houses where they filmed that movie with Bette Midler, Beaches, it's called. You know, I had that life, and the thing that I remember about it was I really enjoyed not having to worry about money. That was really nice. The rest of it, all the material stuff, kind of turned sour after a while. It was like going to an ice cream store, being told you can have as much of this as you want, anytime you want, and to begin feasting on it, and enjoying the taste, the delicious, really good stuff like Haagen-Dazs or something, and enjoying it for a while. But after a while, the taste beginning to diminish, dim, because of the fact of excess. Now I'm going to turn right up here. I'm going to go up the Newport coast, turn right up here, and say goodbye to the sunset. Goodbye, sunset. It's a nice little sunset ride. This is kind of a fun little road to ride up. You know what I mean? After a while, it's like, oh yeah, this is great. I can have all the ice cream I want, and then after a while, no more. Remember that scene of Monty Python? Give me a bucket. I remember exercising that wealth to such excess. Not conspicuous excess, just the fact that I could spend my way to happiness, or attempt that. I remember it was, and I've talked about this in other videos, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. Isn't that pretty, that bridge up there? It goes to the Newport coast. We had bought a 1 acre piece of land where we had a house, and I was really into gardening then, and I remember I would stop by, and I was so miserable at work. I really didn't like what I was doing, even though I was making a lot of money. That job had made me a millionaire. But I would go home, and I was so miserable. And I had a little red truck. Whoops! I kind of lost a gear there for a second. And I would stop at this we lived in Ojai, and I was working in Santa Barbara, and there, almost every day after work, I would stop by. We just bought that 1 acre place, and I was trying to outfit it with all kinds of plants. And I would stop and at that nursery and just pick up pots of plants and whatnots and whatever, and bring them home on the back of my truck, almost every day, to the point that, the people that worked there must have wondered what was wrong with me, and they even offered to come be my personal gardener, because one, could tell that I had money to burn, and two, I had an interest and a need. And I remember just buying so much stuff, and I remember I had a little library, and I would buy all these books, and my wife Yumiko pointed out to me that I was buying the same books over and over. I mean, not over and over, but twice. I was so careless. I was making a little library for gardening books, and it was like just trying to. I was like, okay, this has got to make me happy. This buying thing is, of course, buying is the key, right? Having money to spend. And I was so miserable because I hated my job, and I hated the fact that I wasn't living an adventurous life, and I was starting to get overweight, and I was weak because I didn't get any physical exercise. I was working long hours at the job, and I was getting all pale and pasty, and I was in my mid-30s, and I had always dreamed of the adventure lifestyle, and had failed to capitalize on any of it. The couple of times that I had tried had always been the adventures of the pale, pasty, overweight, out of shape, 30-something adventurer wannabe giving it a try. But if you go out in that, it's like I'm going to go out and play soccer without preparing or exercising or having the right equipment or the right state of mind. Of course you're going to fail. And so I would go out a couple of times into the wilderness and come back and just defeated and bummed, and I couldn't engage my mind. It wasn't any of that. So I would turn to the fact that I told myself I had sold my youth and my adventure, the adventure streak in me, the adventuresome side of my adventurous wants. I'd sold that for security, and then some. Wow, I really got a lot out of that. And, well, what do you do then? Well, you just exercise that thing that I had sold it for, which was the adventure. I mean, the security. So get out that old credit card, buy some more stuff, get some more plants on the way home, you know, buy more books for the gardening bookshelf, you know, go out to more nicer restaurants, you know, whatever the case may be. I just did all that stuff, and it did nothing. It just rang so hollow. That's why now when I look at these things, you know, I go through a community like we just go through, and it reminds me of that era. And I'm not saying that therefore that those people are not happy. I'm just saying that for me, that life came at a dear cost. And it wasn't until Yumiko and I decided to move to Japan and to give all that up, to sell our $1 million house. And wow, I'm just starting to realize that now. To sell our $1 million house, to gamble the fortune that, you know, so-called, hey, they're gonna have a TEDx there. Wow, I gotta go there. It's a private school. They can actually have a TEDx event. Speaking of TED, we were talking about earlier. And here you can see Orange County proper, all the way to Los Angeles, way there in the distance. And Malibu's way over there to the left. That's a beautiful view of LA Basin and Orange County too. But it wasn't until we actually decided to give all that up and go away. There's the big airplane hangar dead ahead. That it wasn't until all that happened that it all began to change, and I began to adventure in Japan, but this time in a different way. The adventuring kind of became in more earnest, and I waded into it. You know, it wasn't like before. It was like just taking the car or the bicycle out to the mountains and walking around and turning the camera, and whoa, hey, that's interesting. And I kind of worked my way up to, you know, the YouTube channel and all that stuff, and it's really changed my life. And now the result of all of that, the consequence of that, even though I lost all the wealth, gained so much. And I'm sure my wife is happy to have a happy husband. And I'm doing all right financially again too. And I'm not bragging. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to say that it all was not lost. I did lose the pot of gold, but I was able to find a way to keep my family supported. And like I said before, it's not perfectly safe. I need to get the disability insurance in line so that we can make sure we're in good shape all around. But it wasn't until we gave that up. So I guess that's why I don't look at places like Laguna quite the same as I might have otherwise, because when I was on that path didn't hold it for me. But you know what? I wonder if I had been a different person, if maybe if I was smarter or more determined, if I could have figured out a way to make that work. For example, I certainly had the resources and the ability that I could have. You know, I don't think I could have. Okay, let's imagine that if I'd stuck around, we kept that little 1 acre place and outfitted it all nicely and had all the pot of gold and stayed with my job, which was paying really well, and all that kind of stuff. You know, I don't think I could have, because I was ruined. The money ruined me. I had to lose it all and then some to break my. I had this sense that I had achieved that. When I had all that money, I had a sense like you know, wow, look what I did. And I didn't do jack except be lucky. Happened to be in the right place at the right time at the start of the .com bubble to participate in that. But I told myself, look at me, look at I'm all that. There's no way that I could have made videos, because it was really the YouTube thing that really struck pay dirt for me, not money, but in terms of as a creative outlet. And there's no video, there's not a single video out of the 6,000 plus videos that I've made on YouTube. I don't think you're going to find a single video on there that's going to say, damn, you know, making a big pile of money sure did wonders for my life in terms of making me a happy, satisfied, well-rounded person. You know, that might be the hippie in me, you know, so I should be saying, you know, that getting a big pile of money would give my life security, allow our daughter to go to any college she wants, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's nice and fine, but looks like I don't roll that way. What you do find lots of videos saying is, wow, look at the lesson in humility learned, and it's an old-fashioned stereotypical one. Lesson in humility learned and gained of losing everything that led me to a rather meek and flabbergasted and world-wowed condition that I'm in now. A condition from which the great indifference, what does it change? What would it have been like if I'd met the great indifference as a rich man and as a success? What would I have thought of it? Maybe it wouldn't have changed anything. I need to think about that. So, okay, we're gonna make a right turn here, and then we can take a little road over. We're making a round trip now. We're heading back home. This is University, which will lead us all the way back to the 405. Some interesting thoughts. It's fun to kind of think out loud, ride. So Emily's been gone pretty much all day. You know, she got her license went past this 1-year probation period, which means she's now off probation. She can drive, you know, on her at 24 hours a day. Well, she's still got, you know, curfews her mom and I have in place, and she can also carry passengers around, namely teenagers. So that has really opened her world, as I mentioned on other videos. So she's been out all day with her friends, as she was all last weekend as well. Movies and the like. I'm sure she's just having a blast. I don't know if she's going to come home and have dinner with us. If not, then I guess Yumiko and I we'll be on our own. We'll figure something out. It's a Saturday. Maybe go out and get something. Let's go ahead and slide up in here. Then one more day off. Wonder what we'll do tomorrow. I finished the 3rd full reading of Going Alone. And I don't do that for vanity's sake. It's not like it's, wow, it's so interesting, I gotta read it again. I'm doing it by way of editing. Because I go through with a yellow highlighter and mark up the book where things can change. It's a real neat process. It's fun. So I order a copy and it comes in, and then I read through it and I walk around like walking the dog and mark up places where it can be changed. You know, the wording can change a little bit, you know, or grammar or something like that. And then I'll go back home, and in a free moment I'll hop on the computer and edit the, you know, rev the thing up a revision number, and then edit to the new changes. And then when I finish the whole book, I'll then upload that new copy to the system and Amazon. Look at that, look at the light on the buildings. And then it'll then be available with a new version. So this is my 3rd time through reading it, and I'm astonished at the changes that I made all 3 times. I mean, like, I'm almost embarrassed for anybody that bought it in the 1st edition. I should do that. I should call it 1st, 2nd, 3rd edition. I'm almost embarrassed for anybody that bought it. I wish I could. In fact, if you bought the 1st edition, you know, if you already have a copy, and let me know, and I'll send you a PDF of the latest copies. You can have that. And And maybe if you're within the continental United States, I'll send you a physical copy. I can't send a physical copy outside the US. The shipping is $23 outside the US. I just can't afford that. I know, because I've done it. No book rate, no media rate either. So as soon as that's done, as soon as it's done processing, I'm going to upload buy a copy of that for myself and start my 4th pass through. And it's a lot of fun. Especially it's fun to be able to, in the later revs, look at the light on the building. I live right under those buildings. It's fun to, what is that? Balloon? Yeah, balloon, Mylar balloon. It's especially fun to, read through and get like 2 or 3 pages with no edits. It means like, wow, yeah, I made it. I got that part clear. I'll probably stop when I can get through the whole damn book without making any changes. That'll probably never happen because I have other projects I want to work on. But I do want to get this. I do want to get this right. And here we are. This is where I live. Right here, the shiny buildings right there are the 2 new Irvine skyscrapers. Irvine skyscrapers. Well, they're Irvine Towers by the Irvine Company in South Irvine. Let's see if we can get in here. There we go. And I live square between those 2. There's a biker up there. Oh, that's so much fun. I wish you could feel that. And here's a whole community of Irvine Company. They're called podium apartments. It's the style that they are. They're like, imagine a walled city, or the outside of the apartments. You can see one up here. It's like a giant fortress. Here we go. Good. I think I made the light. And that's our center point, dead ahead. See, it's like a wall, a big giant. It's a huge area, just a wall. And on the inside, there's all kinds of walkways and corridors and amenities and pools. And there's even a coffee shop inside. But on the outside, it's a wall, and it's formidable. It's really hard to get in without proper key and fob, thingies. And here's the shuttle. This courtesy shuttle runs all throughout the South Irvine area. It's free. Takes you to the Irvine Shopping Center or whatnot. So I have a little, fob thing in my motorcycle that will open this gate when I get close. And then over here there's a cage where you can park your bike. What I should call this ride? Maybe it's just simply a sunset ride might be fun. It's pretty much what it was. Sunset chat, sunset talk. The main topic, of course, was the kind of heavy one of wealth and happiness. I know I've talked about that before. Got a real nice compliment today from someone about my interest in stoicism and writing on that topic, and it really encouraged me to maybe be a little more active on that. I do have a chapter in Going Alone that is the Stoic life that is very brief and doesn't cover a lot, but that book would not have happened in anything like it is now without the influence of the Stoics. And and I have a great respect for Stoic thinking, the ancient Greeks and the Romans, and the modern Stoics, but I'm not so familiar with them. Maybe I should make myself more familiar. I do have a page on Facebook called The Stoic Life. I don't post there very often. I'd like to. Okay. There we go. The bike is all parked, safe and sound. Thanks for joining me on this ride. Have a great day. Take care.